Hey, you're on the dirt with TheEZGZ. How y'all doing today? Hope everybody's well. Thanks for all the comments and support you give my channel. I really do appreciate it. The project for today is balancing your own wheels and tires. I don't know. I've never been professionally trained in this. I've known people. I've heard people talk about it. I've been doing my own for years and years. I have too many vehicles to not do it. These glue-on, where are they? They're on the far side there. Oh, can you see them? Are getting more and more popular, and I don't particularly like those. But some people with the aluminum wheels and all the fancy high-dollar stuff don't want gouges and scratches put in them by using these rim weights. And I'm sure a few of you are going to say, where do you get all those weights? Well, I've never gotten rid of a set of tires or replaced a set of tires without taking the weights off of them. I ride a bicycle, I walk, and whenever I see one in the road, even at the grocery store, I've seen them sitting out there. Now, first of all, make sure your tires are blocked. The vehicle's not going to go anyplace. You see, as soon as I took the weight of the car off of the wheel, the tire started to rotate. I'm noting where the valve stem is. So, you got to start someplace. And so you want to stop the wheel. If your brake shoes are dragging, you got to back them off. I just came back from several weeks of pounding around dirt roads up in the mountains, and I noticed when I was driving at 65 miles an hour, I've got a distinct little shimmy. I can feel it in the steering, and I noticed that there's no wheel weights on here. There's some marks in places that wheel weights have been, and they're making tires better and better these days. And I've had wheels that didn't need any weights. There's a little deal about having see this little mark on the side? When you mount a tire, that should be by the valve stem, the way I understand it. Now, again, you guys that are pros, don't beat on me too bad. This is just stuff that, like most of my stuff, that I figured out for myself. So what does this tell you? It tells you the heavy side of the tire is going down. You shouldn't have your wheel bearings so darn tight that you're creating drag. Matter of fact, after you adjust your wheel bearings, it's not a bad idea to touch your hubs after driving at high speed for a while, just to see if you're building heat. So we've done it a couple of different times, so obviously this is the heavy spot. There's a gazillion variables, and you got to figure out and think for yourself, and you just need to understand the principles and then take it from there. Sometimes things just don't work. If you have these bigger weights, maybe you don't have any small weights, you can just take a hacksaw and you can cut this off. I like the lead weights better than the aluminum weights. Some of them are starting to go to aluminum weights. So if you don't have the exact size, and I'm not sure, I once tried to buy these at I wanted to just get an assortment, because those guys at the tire store, they have piles of them there. If you're real nice and you buy a set of tires and you know one of those guys, or if you go back while they're doing it, not the guy at the counter, but the guy doing it, and the manager's not around, ask them if you can just have a few of these weights. They usually put on new weights because the steel's in better shape and it's quicker and easier for them. So just some ideas I'm throwing it out there for you. So you get some weights. 1.5 ounces seems to be a good starting point. So if that's the heavy spot, then I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to take this weight, and it's not on there permanently because we want to see how close we are. Then I want to move the wheel. And if I, no matter where I stop it, if it stays there, I've got it balanced. Oop, now look what's happening now. See? That's not the heavy spot. Or it's not directly opposite the heavy spot. I would just generally assume another thing, if you're getting, you know, 3 or 4 ounces off on weights, it's better to have 2 weights than 1 huge weight. Sometimes, you know, if it was really high speed, I read once someplace that balancing isn't even an issue under 45 miles an hour. There's harmonics involved with every rotating mass. Doesn't make any difference what it is. There's always going to be something that is going to be a little bit off. So you just keep playing with it, moving it back and forth. And here's a 1/2 ounce. It says 5. I'm going to put that over here. I think that would be better than taking a 2 ounce. Look how much bigger that is. Oh, that's 2 1/4. It says right on the side what they are. Or if you have a scale, you can check it out. But sometimes, and you know, then there's the test drive. It'd be better to put two weights a little bit, evenly space them for where you think the light spot is, so that it spreads it out. It's not a sudden. If you were to think of it as like a heavy spot is like a hammer, you know, every time you're trying to smooth it out. You'll notice if you continue to drive it with a shimmy, you're putting stress on all your steering linkage and your steering box, and your tires can wear, they can scrub, and they'll get, once they start getting those divots in them, then it's just, it just makes your tire wear out quicker. So that's what we're doing, and I think I got this one pretty close with the 2 weights on it. So it's time to try it out. Now, depending on what is a lot of work for you, use your head now. You can unbolt this wheel and tire, and you can take another wheel and tire and move it up here and use this as your balancing hub. You may find that you have to back off the nut for your bearing to get it to move freely. And I know you can get a tire balancing unit, a bubble balancer at Harbor Freight, do it horizontally. Spin balancing. I'd come back, I went on an errand to the store, and I happened to say, hey, there's Les Schwab, and I was going to go in there. It was about 5 o'clock. I was close to closing for him, and there was nothing going on. Some of the bays were empty, and I pulled up, and this guy comes walking over, and I says, yeah. I says, what did it cost to balance the front wheels on this Volkswagen? And he says, is that the wide wheel? And I said, no, it's the little 4-hole wheel. And he says, $14 per wheel. I'm sorry, folks. I'm not paying $28 to have this done. It may be less trouble for you, but it's a matter of time and money. What do you have more of? I've got a lot more time than I do have money. And you start paying other people to do all of this stuff. Just keep your eyes open and, you know, do stuff as much as you can. It's just good to me to know and understand the basics of this stuff so you can diagnose it. And you know, sometimes it's not worth it because a tool is really, really expensive. But this is a consumable thing, you know. 28 bucks for 2 tires? Doggone. I'm not going to do it. And these tires aren't new anyhow. So, just for giggles, I had adjusted all my brakes before I went on this trip. and they were all dragging just the way you're supposed to have them drag, just a little bit. And my hearing is pretty bad. Okay, see how it moved back the other way? It might just be one wheel that's out of balance on your car, creating that shimmy in the steering wheel. Okay, we'll see where this settles out. Here's the valve stem right over here. So let's just move it someplace else. That's what I use. I look at the valve stem and I say, okay, where's that heavy spot? That's a lot higher, so that's not, it's probably, but it definitely starts moving. It wanted to go over here. The last time it settled here, let's see. And here's another thing. You see the dirt? If you've got a lot of dirt and mud built up on your tires, then that can throw it off as well. So I'll probably do a 1/2 ounce on this wheel. Start with a 1/2 ounce, and then I'll take it out for a test drive. So I sure did have fun on my trip, and made it home safe and sound. So the aspen are starting to change in town, and I talked to someone else who was up in the mountains in another part of the mountains, and I think maybe tomorrow's Monday, maybe the dog and I will get up early and we'll hit the road and get some pictures of the aspen changing. What do you think of that? Thanks for watching. Thanks for subbing. TheEZGZ out.